This is Garroth, the Keeper of Time, and he's about to rewind the world of Wynncraft back to nothing. To stop him, I must defeat 3 bosses locked away in their own deadly dungeons before I can even reach him. But I've been cursed. I can't sprint, my attacks do almost nothing, and I can barely cast any spells. This is Wynncraft Impossible mode. Let's see if I can beat it. First things first, I let chat decide my class, and they chose warrior, not the safe long-range mage. Nope, the get in their face and die class. Perfect, what could possibly go wrong? After a quick chat with the King of Ragni, I tested my damage on some zombies outside and wow, look at this. Negative damage multiplier means that I'm basically hitting enemies with a dull stick. This is going to be disaster. So my first quest, kill a mushroom. Should be easy, right? Level 1 boss, couple of hits and done. No. But no. I had to hop around, probably looking like an idiot to anyone watching. And it still wasn't dying. Ow. Wait, I missed my spell because he kicked me away. I finally took down the mushroom after what felt like an hour. Let's get out of here. Feeling brave, I wandered into a nearby cave with no armor, no potions, and clearly no brain cells. Why didn't I buy potions before going in here? Yeah, that went exactly how you expected it to go. Well, next up, helping a farmer whose stepdad got zombified. Somehow this was way easier than the mushroom. After that, I cleared my first cave, but on my way back, I met my new nemesis, a corrupted horse. This thing was so much faster than me, and the guards, please guards, help me. Well, they were about as useful as expected. No, we're not safe. Inside Ragni, a cook needed help catching a grook that stole his cake. But slowness debuffs plus a chasing quest equals, well, torture. Outside the sewers, I also uncovered a secret discovery, and then a second one once I got back to Ragni. Then, with some more armor, I returned to the cave that I died in earlier and I cleared it. Next, I met up with Tassim at the gate to the Nivla forest. He wanted help clearing a spider cave, but with the massive damage and spell debuffs, this fight took a while. Luckily, the spider didn't aggro on me for some reason, so I managed to beat it, clear the cave, and finish the quest. Then came the cave. The one that would become my personal hell. Ranged mobs plus slowness debuffs equals unavoidable death. I died not once, not twice, but 4 times. I lost my armor and my dignity. And now's probably a good time to mention 2 of the most important rules of this challenge. First, every time I die, I must drop a piece of my gear. And second, I'm only allowed to use low tier items. Let's do the level 5 quest. Outside of Ragni, I helped an adventurer explore some sewers where I almost died to a grim reaper and almost drowned in flooding water. No. And turns out these sewers were actually the home of the first dungeon boss of this challenge, Witherhead. But I wasn't quite ready for that fight just yet. I cleared out a few more caves and I went back to the Cave of Death and I finally beat it. In the forest village, Tassim and I also helped a villager named Yaya to clear some spiders from his mushroom patch. I totally beat the big spider without cheesing it. But then Yaya got taken by the spiders, so the village mayor asked us to alert the military in the big city of Deathless. On our way there, we were ambushed by zombie Chad. And Tassim did not help at all. This guy was like twice as strong as the big spider from before. Help, Tassim, stop being so useless. So I did the only thing that I could, desperately jumping away, hoping that zombie Chad would not catch up with me. But apparently Tassim wasn't too happy about me ditching him. Next, I helped a miner clear out a tunnel between Ragni and Deathless. Not that I could use it though, because I can't use fast travel in this challenge either, but it wasn't without its weird moments. What are you? Some cow guy appeared, we freed some cows from a farm, and then in return the cows finished up the tunnel. Don't ask me about it. And after that, I cleared out 2 more caves. With not a lot of gear, it was now time to face the first dungeon of the challenge, the Decrepit Sewers. So just to recap, I have terrible damage, move incredibly slow with barely any sprint, my mana regen is non-existent, and spells cost more. Ha, good luck. To clear this dungeon, I must defeat Witherhead, and to reach the boss, I must clear 4 challenge rooms. In the first room, you must kill 18 enemies to open the door. This part wasn't too hard. I could outjump the enemies and get them with a few spells and attacks. In the second room, you must cross a parkour. Now, this was the true challenge. But luckily, I managed to get through it without failing. In the third room, you must defeat 12 enemies to open the gate. And like the first room, this proved to be relatively simple, even with all the debuffs. And for the final room, you must run through some hallways filled with enemies, which almost got me, and then finally defeat 10 enemies to reach the boss room. And here we are, the first boss, Witherhead. 1000 HP, minions all over the place, and a jump attack that could probably one-shot me. But with a lot of sprint jumping away and a lot of potions, there was a chance. And that's when phase 2 hit. Toxic sludge everywhere. As the saying goes, the best defense is a good offense. Yes! Yes! I did it. The first dungeon completed. And if I thought this one was hard, that was intense. Things are about to get much, much worse. With the first dungeon completed, it was time to continue. Over the next few hours, I cleared caves, unlocked discoveries, and slowly made my way toward Deathless. I got swarmed and died a few times. I got stuck on a parkour for like 5 minutes thanks to the slowness, but then things got interesting. I met up with Aladar, who needed my help to clear out a tower filled with corrupteds. Dodging and jumping away worked mostly until I got to the boss at the top and died. But on the second attempt, I was a bit more ready and completed the quest. There we go. And for the next quest, Tassim and I had to learn about elements. We had a friendly but not that friendly sparring session, which I lost. Does this count as a death? I don't know. We also needed to defend the city from an attack led by this crazy looking corrupted summoner and its minions. With some more jumping around and trying to dodge its crazy attacks and the minions, with a fair bit of help from Tassim, I did complete the quest. Then in the town of Maltic, a local villager needed me to defeat a witch who had kidnapped one of the kids. Fighting the witch wasn't too difficult. She had a lot of health but didn't do too much damage, luckily. There we go. Next, this assistant in Deathless needed me to gather some mushrooms for a potion, and then apparently to go kill his master who had taken 1 mushroom too many. I went into this fight a bit overconfident. This quest is usually an easy one early on, but with the debuffs, not that easy. Turns out mushrooms plus a mad scientist equals raid boss. Who knew? Well, round 2 with a lot of potions and victory. I killed him. Apparently, a nearby farmer had heard of my not-so-greatness and asked me for help. He needed me to defeat some cows who had taken over his horse farm. But the cows had gotten to the roids before I even had a chance to get them. Oh no. On the second attempt, I rushed in talking about meal prepping, and somehow this calmed him down enough for me to win. In Deathless, the Admiral needed me, Aladar, and Tassim for a very important mission, which was to carry some crates of supplies halfway across the province. Great. I guess all the carts had broken down or something. Once we arrived, the military officer at the scene needed me to enter the volcano to fetch some lava to free Yaya, who had apparently been stuck in these cobwebs the entire time. So a little climb, parkour, and a burning spider later, Yaya was free and the quest completed. After a quick delivery quest, I hit level 17, which only meant one thing. The spiders had nowhere to run. I had cleared out the forest, cleared out their caves, and now I had to eradicate them from their home, the infested pit. To put an end to this spider infestation once and for all, I must defeat Arachadicus, the queen of the spiders. To reach her, I must first kill all her spider babies by completing 4 challenge rooms. In the first room, you must defeat enemies to open the door. Luckily, the slow spawns made this actually manageable. Next, there was a simple slime bounce parkour. In the third room, well, that was spider swarm hell. No more slow spawns, just pure chaos. I nearly died, but somehow I managed to survive through pure panic energy. And lastly, there was just another parkour section. And here we are. Aladar and Tassim actually showed up to help, but to compensate, Arachadicus was an absolute tank with unlimited baby spiders and arena-wide web attacks. Luckily for me, Tassim and Aladar actually helped for once, and they dealt the bulk of the damage, while I focused on jumping and chugging potions left and right. But even with help from the boys, this fight was incredibly difficult, and I nearly died like 3 times. But thanks to Aladar and Tassim, I won. Let's go! 2 down, 2 to go. But here's the thing, Aladar and Tassim, they won't be there for the next 2 dungeons. I'm going in completely alone. You weren't completely useless. Well, it's been like 5 seconds since I beat the dungeon and I died. That's a new low, even for me. But then, redemption time. I ran into Zombie Chad again, but this time I didn't run. Next, I had to help another military captain to investigate a lava pit that somehow spontaneously popped out outside of Deathless. I got a protective potion and I entered the lava pit and I found the source. Luckily, this fight wasn't too complicated, probably because the heart of the lava was stationary and had limited attacks. I tried to level up by fighting some skeletons and zombies, but they overwhelmed me pretty easily and I died. But I did manage to level up and unlock another ability, Quadruple Bash Spell. And now, once I was level 20, this guy Sailoros needed help finding out what happened to his family. His older brother had become a local drunk and the other brother, well, he died. So naturally, I went in to check on the corpse just to make sure, and that was a bad idea. All the dead rose from their literal graves and so did the brother. And boy was he stubborn. This was a long fight. Even after losing all his limbs, he still tried to crawl and bite me. After the fight, I gave his will to Sailoros. Hopefully he gets some inheritance or something, and the quest was completed. I cleared a couple more caves and then went to help yet another military guy. He needed me to investigate an area and I ended up seeing some visions of the ancient past. It was just some floating skeleton guy, but it turns out he's the next dungeon boss, Charon. Sounds almost like Karen, and that's about how annoying he's gonna be later. I cleared a few more caves, dying once when like 100 mobs caught up with me, and then attempted another cave, but I got overwhelmed and I tried to run away, but the cave monsters teleported after me and killed me. Did you just teleport to me? I mean, that's not fair. They're supposed to stay in the cave. And finally, it was time for the 3rd dungeon, the Underworld Crypt. To reach the boss, Charon, the Keeper of Souls, I must defeat yet another set of rooms. Room 1, get through the hallway of death full of zombies. Room 2, survive several wait zones while dodging a strong mini-boss. Room 3, defeat a guardian to unlock the pathway, and Room 4, take a boat through a small passage while fending off waves of enemies. Well, the first room went fine. I just ran past dodging like a coward. Then came the wait zones. I just ran around in a circle dodging the mini bosses while chugging potions. Although it did get a little close sometimes. And then for the guardian. Well, it was super strong. Not what I expected at all. No! Then came attempt 2, which went suspiciously easy. And that's when I realized a stream sniper was helping. So it was time for a restart. This is a solo challenge. So here we are, attempt 3. 3rd time's the charm, right? Everything went smooth. I cleared the hallway, I survived the wait zones, and I got past the guardian and took the boat and lived. And that's when I got to the boss. Charon, and he is pissed. Apparently, I got the coffee order all wrong. I almost died, but with the old run, jump, and potion strategy, I managed to beat him. Come on. Yes! And now only 1 dungeon remains, and it won't be easy. In fact, it will be the absolute worst. I finally defeated all 3 of Gareth's guardians, but before I can stop him from rewinding everything, I need to be ready. So I must reach level 30 and complete all remaining objectives in my content book. I cleared caves, retrieved books from ruins, and worked my way through the content book. A scientist needed my help to get some subjects for his research. A nearby sailor volunteered and the scientist looked into his memories. Oh hey, that's Fruma, the next major update. A nearby guard and Tassim also said that they would come along, but only if I first helped them defend a bridge. Apparently a very important bridge. Well, it didn't go too well. I died, and I blamed Tassim for not helping. And then I died again. Honestly, at this point, I was starting to wonder if I had bitten off more than I could chew. Are you kidding me? But I've come too far to quit now. So on the third try, despite Tassim not helping, I beat it. After that, a poor town nearby needed me to clear out a ruin. I see why they needed help because I died. High-level mobs, minions, and a ton of debuffs. Yeah, go figure. But with the old cheesing with the staircase, it worked just fine. But it took forever. Then some old guy appeared and said my actions had awoken a ton of these monsters all over the valley. Whoops. I cleared out a few more caves and I traveled back in time to save some guy from dying repeatedly. And then in the nearby ravine, I unlocked another discovery and I helped a villager investigate a rumor. And it turns out he wasn't crazy. While in the ravine village, I got a merchant to make me a helmet out of some mud. It sounds weird, I know, but this was the best decision. This helmet was overpowered and gave me a ton of extra mana. Definitely something I needed with all the debuffs. And then came the cave of death. Maybe all the fire and lava should have been a warning, but no, I died a lot, 3 times. And then I just gave up. I'll take care of this later. No. So I headed out to the desert. Here I unlocked a discovery, totally on purpose and not by accidentally falling into a pit of quicksand. And then level 30, let's go. Now I just need to clear the content book and take on the final dungeon. Let's speedrun this. Woo. There we go. Here we are. A team of adventurers also needed my help taking out a rogue military officer, and with my help it means me doing all the work. At the military outpost, I got ambushed by some bandits while chasing the leader and I died. Oh no! But I returned and took out the leader. Now only one thing remained, the fiery lava cave of death. But before that, I bought some extra gear. Back at the cave with some better gear, weapons, and strategy, I actually managed to clear it. Now only one thing remained, defeating GAROTH before he rewinds the entire world into nothing. But this isn't like the other dungeons. To reach the boss room, you must first deactivate 5 temporal anchors divided into different challenge rooms that get progressively more difficult the further along you are. To reach the first anchor, you must complete a relatively simple parkour, although with all these debuffs, it's not so simple. The second anchor is in the research lab, where you must defeat 10 enemies on each side to free the anchor so you can deactivate it. To deactivate the third one, you must destroy it in this cathedral, but there's a ton of enemies all around you. The fourth one is at the end of a courtyard, but to get to it, you must clear out several sections filled with enemies. And finally, once all 4 rooms are cleared, you can deactivate the final anchor, which starts a 90-second survive challenge before you can actually get to the boss room. Now, let's see if I can do this. I got through the parkour just fine, but the slowness made it real painful. And the other rooms? Well, they went by without a problem really, and I even have some potions to spare. But then I got to the waiting section, and I died with 0 seconds remaining. No! Here's where my luck ran out. I respawned with the second chance, but I had almost no potions left at this point, so it was bound to be a failure. This time I got completely wiped in the courtyard section. No sprint and no potions. On the third attempt, well, the courtyard and the wave spells, they were literally designed to ruin my life. On the fourth attempt, I tried hiding from the wave spell. Spoiler, you can't. Well, I was starting to lose hope. Hours of work, and I couldn't even reach the boss room. But I went back for better gear and I tried again. But the wave spell again. No. Okay, here we are. 6th attempt. What if I do the rooms in a different order? Oh, it was a game changer. Doing the courtyard early when I have all my potions, this is it. And I finally made it to the boss room for once. But this boss is not a joke. 2 stages and the worst attacks. He's literally designed to have a counter against everything I have. He shoots you from afar, he teleports to you and explodes in your face, and he teleports away when you get too close. So I can't dodge and I can't damage him. Why didn't chat pick archer or mage? Why? This boss fight was pain, pure suffering. But after 6 deaths to Garroth alone, I learned his patterns. I found the tiny windows and I had developed a strategy. Jump sideways while the mana regenerates. When he teleports close, rush in, spam everything, then run before the explosion. Repeat that for like 20 minutes. But clearly I was outmatched, so I went back to town and I bought more gear and I returned, now pissed, exhausted, and most importantly, determined to beat the final boss of this challenge. I blasted my way through the rooms, courtyard done, research lab done, cathedral cleared, and parkour beaten, and the 90 seconds survived. Now Garroth was left and he has to die.
Nobody believes in you. You lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and saying to yourself, it's not over until I win.
And finally, I had defeated his first form. He retreated and started consuming the floor of the arena, and I barely made it. And now I was ready. His final form was even worse, faster and spammier, but I'm not gonna fail now, not after hours of suffering. I ran, I dodged, and I hid, and I went in for the kill. Yes! Yes! Oh my god! Yes! Holy crap! Oh my god! I'm free! Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Subscribes!